Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the third Poudre River Forum. It's great to see you all here this morning, getting to know each other at the tables in the back of the room. My name is Reagan Wascom. I serve as the director of the Colorado Water Institute at Colorado State University. And the Colorado Water Institute has been working over the last several years to facilitate a group that we call the Poudre Runs Through It. We actually call it the Poudre Runs Through It Study Action Work Group, but for short, the Poudre Runs Through It. And this group is pleased this morning to bring you this forum. We've got a terrific group of sponsors, a lot of great people in the room. I think it's going to be a good day today. The purpose of this forum is really threefold. It's to come together as a community and to celebrate this river, really to celebrate our community of this river. We want to learn from each other today, and we want to think about what else we can do as part of a community of people that are joined by this river. So how many were here last year? Raise your hands. All right, a lot of returnees and a lot of new folks to the forum this year. So welcome to those of you who are returning and who are new this year. We have several elected dignitaries and others in the audience. I'm going to recognize just a few of them. Greeley Mayor Tom Norton, State Representative Jenny Arndt, Senator John Kafalis. We've got Ivan Adams from the Windsor Town Board. Did I miss anybody else, elected officials? Let's welcome them. Thank them for being here and for the good work they do for us. Okay, welcome to everybody. As you can see, the theme today is cultivating connections for a healthy, working river. So we're connected by this river, from the headwaters down through Poudre Park to LaPorte, Fort Collins, Timnath, Windsor, down to Greeley. We all know this Poudre, it's a hard-working river, right? We use this river. We use it well for our needs, but we want it to be a healthy river as well. And that's what a lot of our conversation is going to be about today. It's going to take a community to really achieve those goals of this healthy, working Poudre River, but we can get it done. So the Poudre Runs Through It group, just as background for some of you that's not familiar with us, we formed ourselves in 2012. This forum, this is the third of the forums that we've brought to the group. The group is made up of about 20 folks, ag, urban, water providers, environmental, recreational, urban, a group that wanted to come together to try to figure out how to work collaboratively on this river instead of just arguing. Let's see what are the things we can agree on and do. And so that's the basis of this group. And in fact, members of the group, would you just stand up right quick, please, and be recognized? All right, give them a hand, please. They're doing good work. Besides the forum, this group is trying to do some things to change the future of this river. So, for example, there's a group we call the Flows Committee that's working with the Colorado Department of Natural Resources and the Colorado Water Trust in order to implement some new ideas about how to augment flows and use the in-stream flow program and kind of a unique concept to figure out how can we get some water into key stretches of the river at key times that'll improve some environmental outcomes. So that's one thing the group's doing. Some of you may have seen along the river the Gauge the River project that the group's been involved in, where we put large gauges on structures in the river so that the public, as they're going up and down the bike trail, they can begin to think about flows, understand what flows mean. What does CFS mean? Why does that matter? So that's another initiative of the group. There's some folks in the group that are working on rehabilitation of diversions. So after the flood, some of the diversion structures washed out. How can we do those in a way that gets better outcomes in terms of fish passage and flows as well? The group has developed a video that you'll see here in a bit, along with the Poudre Heritage Alliance. So the group's goal, again, is to make the Poudre really a world-class example of a healthy, working river, and to hold that up really for all to see that we can do this. Okay, to our forum today. It's great to see so many of you here. I want to point out all the sponsors that we've got. In fact, there's so many, I can't read them to you, but if you look on the back of the program, you'll see this huge list of sponsors who have given anywhere from $250 to up to $5,000 to help us do this forum this year, to keep the cost reasonable for you. These are people who care about the river and this community. Hey, give it up. Let's give a thanks to all these sponsors, please. So many of them have booths along the back, and we'll create plenty of opportunities to visit those booths as we go along. Now, a forum like this doesn't get accomplished without some really hard-working people, and there's a couple of people that we need to recognize this morning who get most of the responsibility for things working, and of course, if there's any blame, I'll take it. They did all the good stuff. So Mary Lou Smith, John Stokes, you've got something to bring Mary Lou out front. I want to recognize both Mary Lou Smith and Gail Marie Kimmel. Gail and Mary Lou, stand up. Gail, where are you? Let's recognize them. Gail's in the middle back there. Raise your hand, Gail. Way to go. Gail and Mary Lou. Thank you guys for all that you've done. One of the first things we're going to do is we're going to start with a video. And to introduce this video, I need to mention the Poudre Heritage Alliance. And I'm not going to say a lot about them, but it's an important group. They have a booth in the back. A number of their members are here today. They're a major sponsor of this group. And this group has an educational as well as a history mission. And they're excited both to be sponsors today as well as to share this video with you all. The idea behind the video was it's supposed to be a kid and adult-friendly video. It's about public education. It's about helping people to understand the history of this river, why we value it, all the amazing things really that have happened along this river, and it's important for us to know those. Julie, if we have the video set up, let's go ahead and run the video, please.
The Cache la Poudre River begins in the snow-capped mountains of Rocky Mountain National Park. Traveling a short 125 miles, it is a wild ride, dropping about 7,000 feet in elevation. The Poudre is home to a diversity of wildlife and vegetation. Some of the first humans to use the Poudre River were probably Native American ancestors of the Arapaho. English and French fur trappers came to the Poudre to trap and trade beaver. French trappers buried some of their gunpowder along the river. The French word cache means hiding place, and that's how the Cache la Poudre, cache the powder, got its name. When the 1859 gold rush was not successful for most, a few tried farming along the Poudre. Simple dirt dams directed water to fields right beside the river. When spring runoff washed the dams away, new ones were built. In 1870, a group of industrious settlers and business people from the east came to Greeley and formed the Union Colony. They built more sophisticated and permanent diversions from the Poudre River, along with a series of major canals still in use today. In the summer of 1874, irrigators in the Greeley alarmingly watched the Poudre River flows decline. Upstream, they saw new irrigation structures in Fort Collins diverting water that previously flowed downstream to them. Following an angry meeting at the Eaton Schoolhouse, the eventual resolution was that those who first diverted river water should have the right to the water. First in time, first in right. 2 years later, this Cache la Poudre agreement for allocating water among users became the basis for the doctrine of prior appropriation in Colorado's new constitution. In the 1880s, farmers began to organize ditch companies, pooling labor and money to build a network of ditches and diversion structures, delivering Poudre water to farms miles from the river. Later, tunnels brought water into the Poudre from the Laramie and Colorado rivers. Farmers' crops suffered late in the summer when snowmelt was over. Reservoirs were built, which today continue to provide late growing season water for crops and a year-round supply of water for cities. People in Fort Collins got tired of getting their water from wooden wagons, hauling it from house to house. A new system diverted water from the Poudre to a small reservoir and pumped it through iron pipes to Old Town Fort Collins. The Fort Collins Waterworks building has been restored and welcomes visitors today. Greeley was growing and needed more water, so in 1904, the city purchased a farm with very early water rights at the mouth of the Poudre River Canyon. A wooden pipeline diverted water to the city 35 miles downstream, and is still an important part of Greeley's water supply. Decades later, the Colorado Big Thompson Project was built to bring water from the west slope to supplement northern Colorado rivers, such as the Cache la Poudre River. A tunnel 13 miles long beneath Rocky Mountain National Park brings water to farms and cities along the Poudre. In the 1960s and 70s, people became more concerned about the natural environment. What about the health of the fish, wildlife, and plants that depend on the Poudre, just like the people? Concerns like this became a national issue, and federal laws were approved to protect the environment. Due to Colorado's unique weather, the Poudre River is subject to flooding and times of drought. Water storage projects were built to balance the water supply between these times of plenty and times with little water, although some flooding helps to keep the river healthy as well. In 1986, Congress designated a portion of the Poudre River, but not its whole length, as wild and scenic because of its beauty and free-flowing condition. Based on the Poudre River's crucial role in the creation of water law and complex water systems, Congress designated the lower Cache-la-Poudre River as a National Heritage Area to commemorate the significant historical and cultural contributions made to our nation. It was the first National Heritage Area west of the Mississippi. There are lots of different voices in northern Colorado with an interest in the Poudre: farmers, urban water managers, environmental researchers, recreationists, business people, and the heritage area. All these voices together form a Poudre River Forum to discuss and examine the challenges of the river and how it affects future generations and how to preserve its rich heritage. Knowing our collective water past and studying and understanding the river will help the people of the Poudre face future water challenges more effectively. With knowledge comes understanding and appreciation of our communal river, working together on solutions to make the Cache-la-Poudre River the world's best example of a healthy, hard-working river.
What do you think? They did a great job, right? Yeah, thanks to Poudre Heritage Alliance. Great job, guys, and to Tom Check. Today, as you look at the program, a couple of things. One is the bios are all in the program, and so we probably won't make long introductions. You can read those and see who's up here before you. And then I think the other thing is you look at the program, what you see is that this morning we're really focusing on agriculture, both the present and the future of ag in the basin. And then this afternoon we're going to move over and talk about water projects. And we're going to look at what we can learn in this basin by projects that have gone on in other places. So that's kind of our plan for the day. As you think about the Poudre, I mean, there's almost a bewildering array of activity and projects and things that are going on in this basin, from flood and fire recovery to river restoration to growth, white water parks, ag transfers. It's all happening. It's really hard to keep your hands around all of that. And that's a lot of what we want to do today. I think a lot of that will occur informally as you see what folks are doing in their displays, but we're going to try to bring some of that out in our panels today.